Friends, Romans, and Patriots, lend me your ears and strap on your tinfoil hats because it's time for the Gay Frog Chat. It's time. It's time for the Gay Frog Chat. And I'm here alone because no one showed up. But it's okay. We're going to fucking do it anyway because, you know, nothing like going in raw. Nothing like having to run errands all day and cook dinner up until the time that the chat was almost started and I had to choke down dinner real quick and hit a button. But I don't know, maybe some people will show up here in a minute. But how you guys all doing tonight? How's everybody out there in the internet? I hope everybody out there is great. I hope everybody's doing well. No, I'm not alone, Honda, says Yosh. Yeah, Yankee's still jabbering. I posted the link in the Yankee chat, so maybe we'll get some Yankee viewers on here tonight. I did want to show up to a Yankee chat and slap him around a little bit, but I don't know. I don't listen to Yankee enough to have a specific grievance to go over with him, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm kind of early. Oh, Angry's here. Hello, Angry.
Hello, Hondo.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just fine. Did you hear about Southwest Airlines today?
No, what'd they do?
They canceled all of their flights for this weekend, and I don't know, it's something like 1,400 flights they canceled.
Jesus.
So there's people at airports all across the country trying to figure something out or rent a car or something like that. And there's all these stories about a DIA blaming it on Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day, as they call it.
I forgot that that's even coming up, to be honest.
I miss Columbus Day, man. You'd sit around, you'd make fucking turkey fucking paper things in class, and you'd make funny hats. And
we only did that on Thanksgiving. We did do the funny hats. We do hats, but I haven't paid attention to Columbus Day since I was in school, because we used to have it off sometimes, and then we had to go for it. But when we would go for it, it was just basically a do nothing type day. So yeah.
Super Bad Video says, how are you doing tonight? I'm doing pretty all right. Just made some country style ribs with mac and cheese and corn because it sounded good. Plus I had all that stuff. I don't know. I've got my fucking freezer packed full of food. I've got my pantry packed full of food. I've got toilet paper and paper towels and all that shit, and a fuck ton of ammo and guns, and what else should I buy for the apocalypse is my question. I was looking at if they had the one that they had online at Harbor Freight. I went to Harbor Freight today to get a generator, but they didn't have the one that they had online for $350 or whatever. So I didn't want to spend more than that. So I didn't get it. I didn't end up getting anything, but that's on the list. But what else? Angry.
I can't really think. I mean, fuel maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I guess some sort of a water filtration system would be nice to have, potentially. Because there's a little creek that runs behind the house there. And there's always water in it. What's up?
I was going to say, if you don't have water filtration, that's a necessity you need to jump on.
Mark Malone says, a serious four-wheel driving rig where you live? I mean, I got a RAV4. I wouldn't call that a serious four-wheel drive rig, but it's got four-wheel drive, and it goes. And I just got new tires and an oil change and did all that shit for it, so the car's good to go. Gummy bears and a wood stove. Water and hot ladies. Get some hookers, says Yosh. These are all good suggestions. I'll take them under advisement. 80s. Yeah. Fucking chat was up. So I've got it posted to Twitter now too. Now I'm simulcasting to Twitter, but I have 0 viewers on Twitter. Hey, at least if YouTube takes it down, then Twitter has to also, you know. Alcohol and nicotine, says Roy Munson. Actually, alcohol is not a bad idea, and at least enough nicotine to make it so that I don't have to, like, you know, kill myself trying to get a smoke or whatever. Although I don't smoke anymore, so. Uh-oh.
Penis.
Ruh-roh. How are you, penis?
Better than it was last night, that's for sure.
That tea help you out there?
The tea helped, yeah. And when that fucking mucus relief medicine finally wore off, stopped making me fucking cough, then I got better. So,
you have a good wife there, sir. You're just like, you text her to make some tea, and she like comes up with like a fucking like tea set.
Yep.
Complete with cinnamon stick and fucking honey.
I was thrown off. I thought she just like store some tea in the microwave or something, you know. And no.
Your tea, sir.
It's a good woman you got there. Well, cherish her.
Oh, I do.
Cherish her.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not really do much for the chat today. I was kind of running around doing errands all day. I finished cleaning up the Enfield this morning. Just got done eating dinner and making dinner and all that stuff and cleaning up. So I don't really know what's going on in the world today. Anything crazier today?
Not a whole lot. A little bit, but not much. I mean, mostly just like the little random shit I was talking about on the show, but nothing major.
Yeah, I was looking at the Southwest Airlines cancellations. It was like 1,400 flights they canceled. Did you hear about this?
I heard about it, but I didn't hear why. Like I saw a thumbnail headline thing, and I didn't investigate further.
They're saying it's air traffic control issues and weather issues and like labor issues. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's. It seems to me they probably like tried to implement some sort of a mandate, and they probably had some backlash, and now they're just like canceling all the flights and saying like, "Oh, it's because air traffic control or something."
Yeah.
Air traffic control, that's not affecting any of the other airlines. Like
No.
Leonardo Vu dropped in $5. Said, need to rehydrate after all the bumping the hot ladies.
Well, then you should do that. You definitely rehydrate there, Leonardo.
Yeah, get yourself some high quality H2O.
Dude, I was on a a different chat outside of the group the other day, like yesterday, actually.
Oh, that British chat?
Yeah, the British dude. And he had some like Asian guy on who wanted to join the chat. He was just sending out links to people who wanted to join and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude lived in Thailand, right? And he was talking about how he knows Clint Eastwood and that Clint Eastwood tried to send him a .44 Magnum revolver to Thailand to him for free just because he likes him, right?
Okay.
And then I was like, dude, are you sure that was, Clint Eastwood and not just some like internet troll or something? And everyone got mad at me and I got kicked off of the chat.
What?
Yeah. Because I was questioning the Asian guy about the validity of his Clint Eastwood ties.
Well, he could have been a very special ladyboy. We don't know. That really caught Clint's attention.
I just figured Honda was being racist towards the Asian guy.
I mean, maybe subtly. I don't know. I do things. You were critically thinking. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would like to get a fucking .44 Magnum revolver from Clint Eastwood sent to me. That'd be pretty cool.
No shit.
Yeah.
That'd be something I would never sell.
I have a bone to pick with nobody in particular in here.
I was like, oh, what did I do?
Yeah, I don't know. You didn't do anything. Although Tara said she wasn't going to be here, she wants me to harass you tonight. So,
well, so how is this different than any other night?
That's what I told her. I was like, oh, I'll be there. I'm going to do it anyway. So, I could just cover for you. But I'm watching this. I finished watching this debate, I guess, that Ben Shapiro had with Anna Cas. What the fuck is her name? Yeah, that bitch. Anyway, so and the whole thing was a little frustrating to watch back and forth on both their parts. By the way, there was stuff that he was just saying that was annoying me, along with stuff. He's I don't know. He's an odd libertarian, but whatever. But there was at one point they were asking about, oh, you know, bad stuff's happened in the country before in the past, and you know all the times that politically we've been at each other's throats, and looking back at all that, does it make you feel better or worse about how bad things seem to be today? And the chick busts out with, well, certainly there are truly horrific things that are happening today. It is true. I mean, there was January 6th, so we do have to acknowledge. And I was like, is somebody going to call anybody on this shit? Like, I was waiting for Ben Shapiro to say something, and he didn't. And I'm like, look, if what that crowd wanted to happen that day had happened, how would it have affected our republic? They would have done the vote the next day. That's it. Like, worst case scenario, they keep talking about it was an attack on our democracy and all this shit. Worst case scenario, they would have held the vote the next day, right? Like, that is the absolute worst case scenario of that. They postpone the fucking certification vote for Joe Biden. That's it. Right? Like, if the crowd had gotten what they wanted.
I don't know. Imagine it was an actual insurrection, right? And rather than not bringing guns and being coordinated and talking to each other and having a plan, because they didn't, no one had a gun, no one coordinated, no one talked to each other, no one had a plan.
Exactly.
Right? But if all of those things had happened and people had brought guns and taken hostages and done, like, yeah, that would have been a fucking crazy fucking, and like, I'd probably agree with some of the shit that they're saying as far as like, whoa, like.
And that's exactly my point. Do we not remember 2017, a Bernie Sanders supporter actually legitimately tried to kill a third of Congress? Which would have affected our republic more? Killing a third of Congress or disrupting a vote for a day? And nobody on the left wants to talk about that fucking bullshit. You want to talk about the Bernie Sanders supporter who took a fucking SKS and unloaded on a crowd of 1/3 of Congress members on a baseball field. But we're going to fucking talk about January 6th over and over again, where Congress might have been inconvenienced by what happened that day.
Wait, he had an SKS?
I believe that it was an SKS.
Yeah.
So do the leftists not believe in AR-15s to the point where even when they buy a gun, they buy an SKS?
I guess not.
That's kind of weird.
But nobody's talking about that shit. And nobody will throw that in anybody's face either. Like, wait. January 6th. Oh, well, let's talk about summer of fucking 2017 when a leftist fucking nut job tried to kill a third of Congress. How about that? What would have affected our country more? You know what I mean? Like, this is. I'm tired of hearing this bullshit. What those 400 and some odd people was fucking stupid. It's what they did was stupid. It was dumb. Okay, they should have stayed outside in the streets with everybody else and just kept protesting and whatever. What they did was fucking stupid. But it is not on anywhere near the level of other shit that has happened in this country, especially if you're going to compare it to recent history. I'm so fucking done hearing it. It's stupid.
Well, the thing about January 6th that people also don't talk about is the fact that it seems like they let it happen. Like, they primed the pump, they opened the gas cap, they put the fucking pump into the gas cap thing, into the fucking whatever thing you call it. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They swiped the card, they lifted the handle, and then someone came up and squeezed. They're like, oh, he pumped gas. You know what I mean? Like,
yep. Nobody talks about all the videos of people in the crowd yelling at the cops going, why are you letting them do this?
Yep.
Stop them.
Or the cops saying, come on in, we're with you, just don't break anything.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It makes me wonder how many FBI or CIA or whatever the fuck it is, whatever 3-letter agency happened to have been involved with that whole thing. How many of those people were in the crowd? How many of those people made it inside? How many of those people walked up to the door and were like helping people in, but didn't go inside themselves or something? You know what I mean? Like, It's absolutely absurd. And the fact that they dude, it's totally a plan. Like, look at it. Like, they had the narrative ready to go. As soon as the shit, like, the dust wasn't even settled yet, they were like, insurrection and blah, 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 blah. And, like, look at Nancy Pelosi fearing for her life. And let's talk to Ocasio-Cortez about her experience. And it's not about what actually happened. It's about what the people felt who were there, right? Like, it's not about the fucking damage or violence or whatever that happened. It's about your feelings. And that's what we're going to focus on, is how you felt that. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, can we, like, get past the bullshit? Apparently not. And that, it just makes me fucking realize that this country is that much further down the line. We've dug a hole, and, you know, we're not getting out of it. I just hope it doesn't rain, because, you know, we'll all drown.
Oh,
I think it's going to rain.
It's fucking raining. It's already started sprinkling.
Yeah.
It's a good drizzle.
And the rain is everything external. That's fucking China. That's bullshit all over the rest of the world. That shit's coming. And we are so fucking fractured in this country right now. So fucking fractured.
Well, I mean, if you look at, like, a simple thing, like, how's the economy doing, right? If you ask someone on the right, it's like 95% are like, terrible, it's awful, it's terrible, it's bad, right? And if you ask someone on the left, like 85% of them are like, it's great, everything's going so good, the government's going to come in and help the people who need it, we're just doing so awesome.
Those are the people I'm going to eat first when shit hits the fan.
Yes.
So I was reading I was watching Stefan Molyneux. He was talking about misconceptions of the left. And I'm going to ask a question to you guys out in the audience. And you got to give me two numbers, right? The first one is, what percentage of Democrats? And then the second one is, what percentage of the people who catch COVID die? So the question is, what percentage of Democrats think this, and what percentage of people die from the COVID when they get it? I don't know if I
remember.
Right.
I remember hearing this. Wasn't it like 75% think like 90% of the people that catch it die or some shit?
Okay. See, yeah, there you go. There you go. That's what I'm asking. Okay. And I'll just give you the fucking answer. It's 41% of Democrats, so almost half, believe that if you catch COVID, you have a 50-50 chance of dying.
Oh, wow.
And these are the people who, they're glued to the TV. They watch CNN, they watch ABC, they watch MSNBC. They watch all of these things, and they are that woefully misinformed as to the actual danger of this thing going up. And then here's another question. If you're a healthy 30-year-old and you catch COVID, what are your chances of dying?
It's like almost zero. It's like 0.007 or something like that.
Yeah, it's
I don't know what the
less than
percentage is,
0.5%.
but it's 1 in 250,000. So if 1 million 30-year-olds catch COVID, 4 of them are going to die on average.
But here's the thing. And those will be the only 4 stories you will hear about on the news for the next week.
Yep.
And that's why.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
why
it's just
everybody's
insane,
freaked
dude.
out.
And we're headed for what Australia is doing, right? Like, I was watching a video. Actually, I'll share it. I'll share this video. I gotta find it again real quick. Aha, here it is. So it's the police showing up to this guy's house with pictures of him at some rally from 6 months before, like something that happened 6 months ago, questioning if he was there or not and what his intentions were, and with pictures of him.
Yep. Did you put this on Facebook? Yep. So the question that's been raised is, were you there? Oh, Good. Is it you?
What do you think? Well, does it matter?
I mean, this is the kind of shit that's going to happen here. This is what the people want. This is what the crazy people want. This is what the Nazi-like fucking propagandized youth and leftist fucking control freak dumbasses in this fucking country and soccer moms who have been convinced by CNN that 50% of the people who catch this are going to die. This is what they want. And then I was also thinking about this, right? Like, why are they so crazy about COVID up in Canada? Well, it turns out, I think, it has something to do with the fact that they have socialized healthcare. And they're on like a 4-year wait for elective surgeries already because of the overflow of people from COVID. And they're not willing to spend more money or expand the number of beds or do anything like that. And so any even slight uptick in the numbers of people with COVID is like they're not able to absorb it by design. And rather than saying like, hey, maybe we should add some more hospital beds, or like, hey, let's just shut the whole fucking country down and impose draconian fucking bullshit. Sorry, I just got done eating. I'm like burping while I'm talking and shit. I don't know, man. I almost bought a fucking generator today.
Almost.
They didn't have the one I wanted.
One, like for 3 weeks now.
They didn't have the one I wanted because I went to Harbor Freight because they supposedly had, it was like a 4,000 kilowatt or whatever, 4,000 watt for $350, and I was like, dude, I'm getting it. And I went there and they didn't have that one in stock, and the next model up was like $200 more. So instead, I just spent like $300 on groceries.
Well, at least you still turned into something productive.
And I got some ammo. I got like 1,000 rounds of 22 of CCI mini mags. That's what I did today.
Yay, things.
What did you guys do today?
Nothing.
I did meal prep. Went to go see James Bond.
Oh, so good. So good.
Dude, I'm kind of like fucked up from it.
I know. The end of that fucked me up too. I was like, what?
Did James Bond die?
It was an unexpectedly good James Bond movie. I was not.
Yeah.
I was going into it like I really liked
I knew it was
Casino
going to
Royale.
be Casino Royale. I liked.
Yeah, Quantum of Solace I'm not a fan of. Skyfall is one of my favorite James Bond movies ever. Spectre was okay, I guess.
Yeah.
It was better than Quantum of Solace, but so I was
agree.
kind of expecting this.
Spectre was better than Quantum. Quantum I did not like when I first saw it. I've gone back since and watched it a couple of times, like tying it in with the rest of the movies. I'm like, it's not as bad as I thought it was, but it's still not great.
It's the least good one out of all the ones he's done.
Yeah.
And
so this one I was like, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as Skyfall, but I was pleasantly surprised. And yeah,
same here. And Skyfall is my favorite James Bond movie. That's my favorite one. After that, it's like GoldenEye and stuff like that. And then this one came along, and I'm just like, fuck. So yeah, it's definitely worth
that
seeing.
stairwell scene.
Oh, dude, yeah. Now, I mean, I know they didn't do it. You could tell there were little edits in there, but the way they did it looked so good. Like it looked like one just long shot.
Yeah,
it was great.
Back to January 6th real quick. I was talking. Okay, so I play video games on occasion, right? And if you go to StarCraft 2 and you're waiting for your lobby to have people join, there's always a text chat conversation going on. And these people were like going on and on and on about January 6th and how like 4 police officers died on that day and all this other stuff happened that's just factually not true. And when you're like, Actually, there was only one person who died that day, and her name was Ashley Babbitt, and she was shot by the police, and she was unarmed. But, you know, like, that goes right over their head. They don't care. They're like, she deserved it. She was doing this and that, and, like, the police should have shot her, and they did a good thing by doing so. And moreover, they don't believe that the police... Because the story is in the media that 4 police officers died, right? There was one who died that day because he had an aneurysm. His brain fucking had an aneurysm and he died. Another one died like the next day or like a couple of days later because I forget why.
I think it was
and
heart related.
And then 2 more of them committed suicide in like the weeks later. Which, who knows why they committed suicide, but they blamed it on January 6th and counted those as deaths from that day.
Yep.
I do find it ironic that the same people that are like, 4 cops died that day are the same ones that 6 months earlier was like, all cops should die. Fuck the cops.
Right. Yeah, like, all cops are bastards, except for if you're shooting Ashley Babbitt in the fucking neck.
Yeah.
Then we're behind you. And we'll never fucking get mad about that or march about it or protest about it or remember her name or call out the police officer and make sure that he's charged or anything. That guy got off scot fucking free. J6 is the left's night of broken glass. I think it's more like the burning of the Reichstag. Remember? I mean, you wouldn't remember that, but you remember hearing about this, right? Which was the thing that the Nazis used to go after political dissidents was they framed someone for the burning of the Reichstag, which was like their parliament. And then
I've heard of it, yes.
Yeah, and then
I don't know all the details on it, but I've heard of it.
Because the Reichstag got burned and they blamed it on these people, they were able to like expand their power. I mean, that's exactly what it is, dude. It's not the Night of Broken Glass. Night of Broken Glass is still coming. We haven't seen it yet. Daniel says, saying his name will get you a strike, by the way. Oh, the guy who shot Ashley Babbitt?
No, Stephen Molyneux.
Stefan Molyneux?
Yeah, whatever the fuck his name is. Molyneux. Molinox. Molinox? Melanox.
Molyneux.
Molinox.
I've been trying to get him on for a chat, dude. Like, I would love to have Stefan Molyneux on, although that would probably be the end of my YouTube channel.
Yes,
It'd be the last chat that we ever did.
But way to go out with a bang.
Yeah, I mean, it might be worth it. Leonardo Vu says, Angry, what do you pack for your meal prep?
So,
I feel like you do a lot of chicken.
Yeah, it changes week to week, but like I go in stints where I'll do like 8 weeks the same thing. So right now I'm doing, lean ground turkey and rice for lunch, and then for dinner I usually do chicken breast with some broccoli and like a pack of ramen.
I've heard that ramen's really not good for you.
It's not good for you as a standalone thing, but like I use it just to fill in a gap in calories because I try to hit 2,000 calories a day. So between the lean ground turkey and the rice, along with the broccoli and the chicken, like I'm so low on the caloric area, even with throwing in my protein shake, that I just need to bridge that gap. So that extra like 350 calories, boom, gets me up to 2,000.
Okay, so it was Southwest cancels 28% of its scheduled flights. I guess that's over 1,000, like 1,400 flights. Blaming it on traffic control and weather. But aren't the other airlines dealing with the exact same traffic control and the exact same weather?
I guess. Maybe they just don't want to say nobody's using our airline anymore. Like maybe they didn't have enough seats filled in these flights to make it worthwhile.
See, Dick Goes Indian knows it. The Reichstag fire was used as an excuse to pass the Enabling Act, which gave Hitler broad sweeping, quote, temporary power.
I mean, it was temporary till about 1945.
I think Joe Biden is the worst Hitler. Like, he's all old and decrepit. Can you imagine if, like, Hitler was, like, 75 years old or whatever Biden is when World War
I don't know
II
if he's
started?
the worst. I don't know if he's the worst Hitler. I know he is the best Brandon.
Yeah, let's go, Brandon. I don't know, man. Like, the conversation between the right and left is no longer, it can't be had anymore. Like, we're at the point now where you literally cannot talk to someone across the aisle. You cannot talk to them because there are so many things that fundamentally are at odds with one another, and that's everything from language and the meaning of it to facts and history and, you know, just civility in general. Like, people just can't talk to each other anymore, and I don't know how to solve it. Peaceful divorce. I don't know. What do you guys think? Mark Malone's defending Hitler out there.
Jesus Christ.
Well, there's that. Manitoba says, was Southwest the one whose entire air traffic control team walked out? Is that what happened?
I haven't heard about that.
That would explain an air traffic control issue.
It would. It certainly would.
Okay, but I was under the impression or the understanding that air traffic control doesn't work for any airline. They work for the airport.
That's what I thought too. Because you only have, like, usually one tower at an airport. I mean, like, you have one major tower. You might have, like, an auxiliary tower. Like, I think helicopters run off a different tower also, but, like, not each airline has its own tower, to my knowledge.
Right. Like, did you ever see that movie Pushing Tin?
Yes.
No.
It was about a dude who was an air traffic controller and how air traffic controllers have, like, the highest suicide rate out of any other fucking profession because of the stress and shit of the job.
It was the movie where Angelina Jolie met Billy Bob Thornton and they hooked up and started drinking each other's blood or whatever the fuck they did.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird time. As you do, though. I mean, all my air traffic control knowledge is based off either Die Hard 2 or Airplane.
So there was a economist who was claiming that by the end of this month, you will see the collapse happen.
Jesus Christ. Really? Can I get a little time?
I mean, the shitstorm is converging. If you look at it, like, we've got people being flooded into the country. We've got the dollar being printed ad nauseum. We've got, like, the government fighting with itself, not able to come up with a plan and a budget and pass it, right? Which I think is probably right at this point. Like, fuck it. Like, we're just going to shut the whole thing down. But, like, we have a solution to that. We'll just mint $1 trillion fucking coins and then give them to ourselves. So there's that part. And then
can I do that? Like, if I can go buy an ounce of gold, can I make myself a coin, $1 trillion coin?
Yes. It's perfectly legal. But then also you've got, like, the supply issue, shortages and like ships off the coast of California that can't come into port because there's no port workers to unload them on the docks. And even if there was, there's not enough trucks and trains to pick up the things that they're already unloaded onto the docks. So they're just, like, sitting in port. Like,
yeah,
we are seriously about to get fucked. Get fucked if you're not ready.
Yep. And when the companies that actually make food to prepare for the bad times can't make the food anymore, maybe a sign of bad things.
Yeah, you know it's a bad sign.
Just saying. Just throwing that out there.
Joe Bleed says, why are there not enough workers to offload ships and drive trucks? even during all of the extra money, with unemployment. I don't know what you mean by the last part. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
There are studies that, or polls, I should say, not. Well, I guess a poll is a study to an extent, but anyway, that they've been doing, and like a lot of the reasonings tend to be, people are either looking for different type of employment than they had before COVID, or before the layoffs and everything else, which all that was affected, including with the these guys that work the docks and people that drive trucks and all this kind of stuff. So a lot of people, the number one answer seems to be, whether it's true or not, people are looking for different employment than before everything went down. Now, what that means could be anything, and I don't know how these polls are actually structured. It may be in a way in which you had to pick a specific answer, and that was the closest one to a lot of people's, what their reasoning is. But certainly, we've got to believe that the unemployment money and all the stimulus and all that kind of stuff certainly affected it. For whatever reason, we've got a situation where we've got millions and millions and millions of people who, before the pandemic and now, have decided they don't want to go back to work. That reasoning, I'm sure, is varied from person to person. Obviously, unemployment money helped, and stimulus and all that kind of stuff, like we said. But some people just genuinely, like, I know people who have decided that they only want to work remote now because they know it's something that can be done. And I will say remote jobs are up.
Yo, I'm about to shit my pants. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh, damn.
Jesus.
A little
Shouldn't have
scat
that
porn
Taco
here.
Bell. Yep. Yeah, I think that's part of it. Like, people that are saying, like, well, I'm only going to work. I mean, fuck, I'm one of those people. Like, I only want to work remote. Granted, I'm being forced into an office now, but every opportunity I can work from home, I do. But that's because I also have a 40-mile drive each way in and out of the office every day. I think it's a mix of that. Also, like me, I was only out of work for just over 4 months, like 4.5 months. And I know how tough it, like, I was chomping at the bit to get back to work. And granted, I was doing stuff in between there, like between DoorDash and other stuff. But even that, like going back into an office and getting back into that work routine, like, it's difficult after being out for so long. I can't imagine being out for like 12, 14, 18 months that some of these people have. Like, the concept of having to go back into a job, like, some people just aren't mentally strong enough to cope with that. Especially when they can stay home and keep getting, money.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons, I think, right now. The world also just sucks right now. And a lot of people have just been, I don't know, beaten down by the last year and a half, I think. And some people are just like, I think some people have just accepted a lower standard of life, a lower standard of living. And if it's, I can keep getting unemployment or, whatever it might be, I'm sure they're just like, for instance, there are kids who have not gone back to school. I think, what is it? Their best guesstimates are around 2 million kids didn't return back to school this year, that they found other ways to be educated. I don't know whether it's private or whatever, right? Homeschool, all that, 2 million kids that are now out of the school system. You got to believe there's also people like that when it comes to the work system, right? When it comes to work, there's some people that just decided not to go back into the work market. And maybe it's because they have a spouse that's working and they've managed to figure out a way for, one of them to stay home or whatever it might be. But there's going to be some people that just don't want to go back into the job market. So it could be a variety of things, but the important part is that it's happening and it's causing serious problems.
Dude, if they start, I'm back, by the way. That was, oof. Jesus Christ. It was like what was the name of the shit monster from Dogma?
Oh, fuck yeah. I don't remember, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
He just crawled out of me.
Okay.
Yeah. He forced his way out, really. Whew. Yeah, what were you just saying? I'm sorry. I was about to say something and I got on a shit monster tangent.
No, we were just still talking about why people aren't going back to work.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, if they start implementing for going to school, you have to get, the vaccine or whatever mandates. My kids are going homeschool.
Yeah. Well, I think in the way they do that is there's got to be a way, right? Like I'd be willing to bet what they do is the way the federal government does this is okay. If you don't mandate it on a school level, on a district level, you don't get federal funding. That's how this plays out.
That's exactly.
Oh yeah, that's exactly how it plays out. And they're just waiting. They're waiting for the Overton window to shift enough for them to do that.
Yep.
And they're actively doing everything that they can in order to make that window shift over enough for them to start implementing this on a nationwide level. I mean, like, California's already doing it.
Yep.
And I haven't talked to my buddy in California. His son is still too young for school, but he's got a daughter who is right around the age of my kids. So, but then again, like, that daughter has a mom that he's not with who has a say, and probably there's a fight there. And I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like, situations like that, you can't just dictate what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Oy, oy, oy. Man, I feel better. I was like kind of rocking in my chair and like, okay, I'll get through it. Okay, I'm not getting through it.
Yep.
Just glad you guys showed up because I would have had to leave my whole chat hanging. Like, sorry, I got to go do something.
You just take them with you to the chat, to the bathroom. Just, hey guys, how you doing? All right. Okay.
They would have just heard a cannon blast. Like, what was that? Saying that I'm a good dad. Well, I mean, I think honestly, if you have kids, you gotta think about the cost benefit analysis. And to me, it makes sense since they have basically like a 0.001% chance of anything bad happening and an unknown quantity of something bad happening on the other side because we don't know. I'll take the 0.001, you know?
Yeah.
And especially since they've already caught it and already fought it off, it just doesn't make any fucking sense to me at all. And again, it goes back to the whole boomer thing, right? Like, why are we doing this as a country? And I think it's because the boomers are the first generation in our country who never matured. They never got past adolescence. They care about themselves more than anything else. They're more worried about their position and their money and, you know what I mean, than the continuation of the country and the ability for kids coming up to actually thrive and survive and do well in this country. And the policies that they've enacted for the past 30 years since I've been alive, you know, at least since I can remember,
well,
these people have been in control.
The boomers you're talking about are the same ones teaching your kids in school, which is why that the younger generation is acting like this too.
Well, at what point is it not their fault and it's our fault? You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Because I think if, like, you and me and people like us, you know, angry, we all stood up together and said, like, this far, no farther, line in the sand, fucking, could we stop it? Could we make this turn around? Could we turn the ship and not hit the iceberg?
I mean, you're talking about it would take a pretty powerful thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how far you would have to go to stop it.
Dude, you'd have to go full Nazi on the other side, which means that it's over.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you'd have to go through the country and separate the people who are legally here from those that aren't, and kick the ones that aren't out, and like cut off people's fucking government money that they're receiving every month, and you know, like, have them go through the equivalent of withdrawals from that. You'd have to get us out of all the other countries that we're in that we've been exerting control over, and hence selling our dollars to at, you know, a good price, because we can import things and export dollars. That's what we've been doing since, you know, the 80s, at least. I mean, it was when we started shipping all the jobs overseas, right? Because we used to make everything here. Like early 80s, like there were still TV factories and car factories, and like all that shit was made in America. And then someone got the bright idea of like, hey, let's move it to Taiwan, or let's move it to China or Japan or wherever. And they'll do it for a lot cheaper than we do. And that was great at first, right? It was like, oh man, look how cheap a Toyota is compared to an American car.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of turned around, didn't it? But now it's like, I don't know. I don't even trust the American cars as far as their reliability. Like if I'm looking at buying a used car, when there's a Toyota with 200,000 miles on it, I don't blink an eye. If there's a Chevy with 200,000 miles on it, I think that thing's about to die, you know?
See, I'm the exact opposite. Like exactly the opposite. When I bought my Suburban and it had almost 200,000 miles on it and is now about to hit 300,000 miles 7 years ago, I didn't fucking even think. I'm like, fuck. This thing will drive to 400,000 miles. I know because I had a Chevy that drove to 450,000. Chevy Silverado, 96. 450,000 miles on that motherfucker.
Well, my buddy had a Dodge Durango that had 400,000 miles on it. You know, it's not like it doesn't happen, but I've also seen plenty of like Fords and Chevys and stuff like that die at like 150.
Here's the thing about it.
You have to look at what type of vehicle it is too. Like you're looking at an SUV with a powertrain that's been in some iteration in those vehicles since like the 80s.
Yeah.
That's reliable, like nuts, balls to the wall reliable, compared to like, you know, a Chevy Volt or something, or like a Chevy Cruze, like some little Econo shitbox. So it's supposed to last 110,000 miles.
It's one of those things that's, I guess it depends on the car and all that, not to like get into fucking car talk or anything, but like, yeah, I mean, the other aspect of it is, and this is when I buy a used car, this is always one of the first things in my mind. Well, one, I'm buying somebody else's problem, period. No matter what, this car was somebody else's problem. Whatever it was, maybe it just wasn't new enough for them, whatever. I'm buying somebody else's problem. It's used. It's going to need work. So my one of the things I always think about is, is this vehicle going to be inexpensive to fix if anything happens to it? And let's say going out and buying a fucking, I don't know, whatever the fuck, with a front wheel drive, sideways fucking engine and transmission, motherfucking Japanese car that you got to pull the engine to replace the timing belt. No, but my Suburban, dude, I've work that I've ever had to do on that thing, $100, $120 to do anything. Pull the radiator, replace it. I think the radiator, the actual core of the radiator cost me $60, and I think the dude charged me $20 to swap it out. You know what I mean? Like, because there's.
See, but I've had really good luck on the other side of that, though. Like with my Honda Civic or Honda Accord that I had, I bought it for $2,500 with 200,000 miles on it. I drove it till it had 350,000 miles on it. I never replaced a water pump or anything on it, literally ever, except for the tires and the oil. And I sold it for like $600. So yeah, I mean, I guess when something breaks on the Toyota or the Honda, you pay more to fix it.
Well, I always go in under the assumption that I'm going to, if I'm buying a used car, I'm going to have to fix something. I presume that because the likelihood is you're going to have to fix something at some point because it is a used vehicle. And as long as it's not an engine or transmission or something, then I don't give a fuck, right? Like, do your maintenance, take care of those two things, and you'll be good to go. I can deal with replacing an alternator or a battery, or again, like I had to replace the fucking radiator core one time on my thing, you know, at 250,000 miles. It was the original radiator, maintenance shit here and there. Oh, I got to put brakes on or shocks or something. These are maintenance issues, right? But the point is, even with maintenance issues, it costs less to work on an American car than it does on most foreign cars. It just costs less money.
So I've been thinking of a business plan, and I need to know what you think, Matt, specifically, because it involves you.
Okay. I guess I should know something about it.
So the idea is I take like $4,000, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
spend it on a motorcycle here in Colorado, buy a
Okay.
motorcycle for $4,000, title, everything, cash in hand. Here you go. Boom, boom, boom.
Uh-huh.
I then transport it down to your area anyway,
Okay.
where motorcycles are significantly more expensive.
Okay.
I then sell it for 50% profit, something like that. Fly back, buy another one, drive down, sell it, hop on a flight, buy another one.
Here's the thing. Okay, and that is, I mean, that's a solid strategy if the demand is there. And I don't know that the demand is here. Like, I know that getting
but
a
this
bike
is where
here
you
costs
come in.
more money.
This is where you come in, because I'm not going to wait around for them to buy it. I'm just going to drive it to you, hang out for a day, and then hop on a flight, and then it's going to sit in your driveway. So you
okay.
sell it,
Oh, okay.
and then
That's
you get
good.
some money too. Is the thing.
Okay. There is a shortage of nice motorcycles down here for, and they do cost more money. So it's just a matter of you got to wait for the demand to ebb and flow. That I will tell you, there is less demand down here too, which is why there's less availability down here. Which is the less availability also means that when you do want to buy something, it costs more.
So we just need to flood the market with motorcycles till they
Till
start
prices-
costing less, and then it doesn't matter anymore. But
And then it doesn't matter anymore, and that business idea is gone.
yeah, maybe like once or twice kind of thing. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe not a business idea, but like side hustle 3 times in my life.
I mean, look, the idea would be to trying to think how you would do this, but the idea would essentially be to offer a service where for a fee you will, well, that just sounds like motorcycle delivery, but
Yeah, you just turned me into a truck driver.
but I don't know if there was a way to know, if there was okay, I'm looking for this kind of bike. I've got X amount of money to spend, and then it's like you're the broker or whatever, right? And if you can find one up there and it's worth your time and effort to buy it and flip it. In other words, if they're like, I've got $10,000 I want to spend on X bike. Well, if you can find it for 5 and it's worth your time, then you do it. If not, you don't. There's no sweat. It's like, look, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it for, you know what I mean?
Do you see this child pole dancing classes for ages 6 and up?
I did see that, and the husband is a sex offender.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Who, this Max Hubner guy? This guy?
I guess I don't know the name, but yeah, the wife is teaching kids to pole dance, and he's a sex offender. Now, to what level he's a sex offender, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and claim. Maybe fucking. I've seen. It's an exaggerated situation, but there are people who've gotten slapped with indecency and had to register as a sex offender because they, drunkenly pissed outside of a school, and they were near kids when they did it, so it counted. So
dude, someone in my family almost got that slapped on them because they were in a wave pool, and I don't know if it was on purpose. I don't know what the story was. I wasn't there. She says he grabbed her chest in the pool. He says he got pushed into her chest in the pool. Who knows? But
yeah.
The police were called. He was arrested. He had to go to court. He had to get a lawyer. And he eventually won because there wasn't any evidence. And, it was like he said, she said, and, and it ended up on his side or whatever. But he had to battle for that shit. And if he had lost, he would have that slapped on him too, that label. Which is fucked up. I think there's a huge difference between someone who, even if that's what he did, right? Even if he was in the wave pool and he grabbed some chick's boob, that's bad. But that's not you raped someone. That's not you fucked with a kid. There's all kinds of levels of hell that are way beyond I bumped up against your titty.
I mean, if that's the case, Chris Cuomo should be on the list.
Mm-hmm.
It was the same family member who got in trouble. Okay, so he learned how to make a dry ice bomb in science class, right? Because the teacher, for whatever reason, I think they were talking about pressure and volume and of whatever of gas and how to calculate it, and as a way to like show that they made a dry. You take a 2-liter. I'm not even going to say it actually. Fuck it, because I don't want to get in the same trouble. Never mind how you do it. So the teacher told the kids in the class how to do this, right? There was this other kid a while later who was like, he went up to this family member and was like, hey, how do you make a dry ice bomb? And he was like, oh, you just do this, this, and that. And the kid was like, cool, got it. Went and made one and put it in his ex-girlfriend's parents' mailbox and blew up their mailbox.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is a huge freaking deal, right? Like, you don't put bombs in mailboxes, like, even if it's a dry ice bomb.
Yeah,
and so yeah, this kid gets caught. He gets arrested. They're like, where did you learn how to do this? And he was like, Honda's family member. So same person had to go through court for all that too. It's like, geez, you had some bad luck.
Mm-hmm.
Over 250,000 shipping containers stuck at U.S. ports with record backlog ahead of holidays. Seems like Kamala Harris, like 2 months ago or whatever that was, when she was saying, if you want something for Christmas for your kids, you better buy it now because come Christmas time, you won't be able to get it.
Yep.
Feels like she knew something. Feels like this problem was something that they could have done something about back then, but rather than doing something about it, they just warned everybody. And I don't know, dude. I keep thinking this is controlled demolition. The further down the rabbit hole we go with this whole thing, the more I'm like, this is a plan. I don't see how it's not. Because, I mean, if things are just going willy-nilly, you would think on occasion something would go your way, you know?
I figured it out. I got the solution. So you know how there's like those wholesale trucks that'll show up to like a random parking lot and you can get like, I don't know, like 40 steaks for $20 or whatever the fuck bullshit thing, right? Or like someone will show up at like a parking lot in a truck with like a bunch of electronics so you can get like wholesale, right? We do this at the ports. It saves the companies on trucking costs and shipping costs and storage costs. Like you just have a wholesale at the port.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's funny. This guy is saying, you buy fancy soap and own no guns. I make fancy soap so I can buy more guns. We are not the same. Oh, shit. What's going on in Athens?
Greece? Or
Yeah.
Georgia?
Greece. Oh, look at all those good police officers who are just upholding the law. That woman's like holding a Starbucks. Did you see that?
Well, we got to know the important things in life.
Yeah, she can't sit down in the Starbucks to, be bothered with the police.
I mean, it is pumpkin season, pumpkin spice season.
See what I'm worried about. What happens when this starts happening in America? Oh, did I miss a super chat? Oh, no. Oh, no. I did. Just got my first ever Beretta M9A4 in FDE. That's cool.
Nice.
I don't have a Beretta yet. That's on the list of things that I need to get. And I've been looking at my collection of toys, let's call them. And I have a lot more long toys than hand toys. Not a lot more, but a few more. So I need to catch up. So what happens when, as Men of Toberware says, food riots are coming? So the food riots happen. So then the American police are out on the street, like enforcing the law in the face of food riots because people are going nuts. And then since there's a bunch of people who probably bought a long toy in the past year and a half, but did not buy enough food for themselves or their family. They're going to be out on the street with their long toy, and the police are going to be there, and some things are going to happen. And then who are they going to blame? And what are they going to do? If people start using their long toys against police in this country, how long is it until they enact some sort of mass-wide, sweeping, door-to-door gun confiscation in this country? I don't know. I don't think that the answer is never. And they tend to strike the iron while it's hot. You know, they don't wait around. If they feel like they can get something done, they're going to go for it. I guess it doesn't start with door to door, does it?
No, it's buybacks and then turn them in and then threats and yep.
And I was also thinking about this. Okay, so they start their buybacks and their tournaments and their threats. You can't take your AR-15 out and shoot it. Unless you're actually shooting it. You know what I mean? So you better have that fucker sighted in, is what I'm saying. Like if you have guns that you haven't shot, or if you have guns that you just bought a new sight for, or you have a gun that you're not sure if it's zeroed, I think as part of prepping right now, in the next week, you need to take that to the gun range, every single gun that fits that bill, with enough ammo to sight them in and get them shooting exactly where you want them to shoot, and then put it away. I don't know. Because you're not going to be able to do it later, you know, if like that's where things are going, you're not going to be able to take it up to the mountains and go shooting. They're going to find you. There won't be a gun range to go to. It'll be closed down. There won't be anyone there. It's illegal. I don't know. I guess they still have gun ranges in the UK, don't they? Only for shotgun and 22, but still.
Yeah, they still have gun ranges all across Europe.
Oh, Pat Riot wants a link. Oh, I sent you a link, the wrong link. Hold on. Here, try this one. The second one. There you go. Sissy Dream says, "Hey everyone, Brandon needs your support. Let's hear it for Brandon."
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. Confiscation? Am I not saying confiscation correctly?
Confiscation?
Guns and Barbecue says, why does Honda keep adding an N in the confiscation?
Because there's no N in the middle of that word.
Yeah,
it's confiscation, not confiscation.
Confiscation.
You're adding letters. Confiscation. It's confiscation.
Gosh, I know exactly what you say it.
Now I'm going to start fucking it up too.
Confiscation.
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 Only one N.
Well, there's two. One at the end and one at the beginning.
Confiscation.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's go, Brandon. Jesus. If the police are the initial aggressors with most every encounter with food protesters rioters, we may have an edge and a perfect example of why the Second Amendment was intended. Yes, but the tyrannical government that exists right now will use that as an excuse to come after the thing that's being used to protect us from being in the same position as the UK or Australia is right now. Or apparently Athens, Greece. where people are getting beaten by police sticks while holding fucking coffee.
Pumpkin spice life is.
Dude, they're doing it to like old people too. Huh. That's pretty cool. How Let's Go Brandon became a national social media sensation. Oh shit, did Mr. Guns and Gear make Fox News?
I don't
He's
know.
actually just selling Fox News.
Oh, I bet. Okay, let me guess what it is. Someone came up with a Let's Go Brandon meme, and then Guns and Gear saw it, and then stole it and put his watermark on it and reposted it.
Either that or he's selling T-shirts. He's making money selling T-shirts or something.
Let's go, Brandon. That's hilarious. Hundreds of thousands of U.S. troops have not yet complied with vaccine mandates as deadline nears. When is the deadline for the military? I thought it already hit.
I think it's end of October, end of this month, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so I see, like, for me, if I was, like, enlisted and I just got in, right? Like, I'd been in for 6 months or even, 2 or 4 years or something like that. And they were like, hey, you got to do this? Like, fuck off, I'm out. If I'd been for 25, 30 years in the military and I'm looking at retirement coming up and all the other benefits that you get for being in for that long, and they're like, hey, do this or you lose all your benefits, that's a lot tougher. That's a lot harder of a fucking...
Yeah, because you've dedicated at that point so much that's like... Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good thing, says Luke B. That was my best Bernie Sanders. That's a good thing. I'm Bernie Sanders. I cannot do a Bernie Sanders voice, but I will try very hard to do a Bernie Sanders voice.
It's like Bernie Sanders, like Wish.com Bernie Sanders was turning into Alex Jones there for a second.
I caught a little Nixon in there. I don't know. How long after the Depression devastation starts will it turn into full Boogaloo situation? I don't know, man. I was thinking about this too. Venezuela today still has an economy, while a very shitty one, and one that you would not want to live under, and one that you wouldn't want to have to buy food under with the currency that you make, and you know what I mean? But people still have jobs. The government still exists. There's still things that happen in that country. There's still an economy. It's just shitty as fuck. I don't know. Let's go, Brandon. Joey Savoy says, heard that a lot of police departments were heavily investing in night vision. Wonder what that's for.
The generator with the spotlights attached are a surprise tool that will help us later.
EDC Dragon 45 says, just got done with family dinner and my sister mentioned how they haven't watched the news for a while, just sports. I asked, if the crowd was shouting, "Let's go!" Oh, there he goes. Then I had to explain it to my pro-Biden family. Oh, that's great.
That's fantastic.
Sissy Dream says, have you heard Jesse Waters reporting on how Pelosi had amassed a $315 million net worth? She got special favors from lobbyists and big business like Visa. Sketchy. Okay, how long has Pelosi been in office? A really long time. Like a really, really long time. I think since the 90s? Possibly longer. Like, she's old enough, it could have been the 70s. Like, it could have been Joe Biden status. But my other question is, what was her net worth on day one? So if she had $1 million, let's say, when she came into office in 1990, let's say, which I don't know if either one of those things are true, but if they were, and now she's got $315 million, how is that not insider trading? How is that not fucking like a hangable offense? Like, you fucking sold out our country to make fucking personal profit for yourself? I don't see how we don't fucking tar and feather people like that. Like, literally.
I mean, to be fair, we don't know that she didn't just invest in Bitcoin really early.
Mr. Pat Riot. How'd he do? Howdly doodly do.
Hello?
Hello. Maybe your mic's not working.
I'm assuming not. Or you're muted.
Daniel says, they won't let people go hungry if they'd lose power and they'd let things get scary enough to push their solution. Yeah, it's the old thing about, like, how do you control somebody? You give them something to lose. You can't control somebody with nothing to lose. So if you take away everything from somebody, now they're dangerous. There's something to that. Maybe we'll get help from China. Men of Tupperware says she's been in since 1987. So yeah, basically since 1990.
We round up here at the Honda channel.
What is that? 34 years she's been in office?
Yep.
I was 6 years old when she got into office. And now I'm old enough to run for president if I wanted to.
I wasn't even born yet.
What year were you born?
89.
Matt, I forget that everyone's younger than us.
Yeah. Everyone's younger than me.
Well, you're like the same age as me. I'm just a little bit younger than you, like 3 years. That's pretty fucking close.
So not the same.
It's pretty fucking close. Like, we remember a lot of, like,
it's like 4
things
years.
happen in relatively the same time in our lives as far as national events, you know. I was just a little bit younger. Versus, like, Angry, there's things that we saw that he doesn't even know about. Or maybe he knows about them, but he doesn't remember them for sure. And Angry's like one of the older ones. And you got like people like Jolly. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but that's because Jolly was born like fucking 10 years ago or some shit.
Here's the thing. You're not old enough to have seen any of the original Star Wars in the theater.
No.
I was talking to Honda.
I think I saw Return of the Jedi.
Because you would have been, what, 2 when that movie came out?
I'm pretty sure I saw Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
I don't remember it. But I was there.
I had to watch all mine on VHS.
I remember Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Pat Riot, hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hey, we can hear you.
Outstanding. Long time listener, first time caller.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
You got any gay frog topics you want to bring to the chat with you?
I guess it's a callback to a lot earlier. You guys were talking about the air traffic controllers. Those guys are federally controlled, and they're in a union where they cannot. What's the word I'm looking for? They can't walk off the job. They can go to prison if they walk off the job.
Wasn't there a big deal about that in the 80s with Reagan? Like they were threatening to walk off. Air traffic control was threatening to walk off under Reagan. And I can't remember what happened. And he somehow fixed the situation. But there was a big thing about that. And I don't remember what the deal was.
Do they make good money? I'm sure you do. Like if you have a job where they're like you get like if you walk out in the middle of your shift, you go to jail. They got to pay you something for that, right?
One would think.
It's not like a bus driver, you know.
No, I think air traffic controllers make close to six figures a year, if not six figures. I could be wrong on that though.
Dude, what does it take? You just got to know math. You got to like do that whole like a train leaves Chicago at 78 miles an hour while another train leaves Denver en route to Chicago at 87 miles per hour. At what point in between them will they intersect?
The national average annual wage air traffic controller is $120,000.
Damn.
Now in Texas, the average salary is $142,000. So apparently Texas pays more.
What kind of education do you need to be an air traffic controller?
I don't know.
Because again, like if you know, like if you're good at math, it seems to me you could figure it out. I mean, you wouldn't want to figure it out on the job, obviously. Oops, I fucked up. I guess 2 planes full of people are dead.
I think you actually have to go to like school to be an air traffic control. Like I think it's a specific degree because you have to know how to read instruments and stuff like that, like radars and shit. And...
Jesus. Is that a plane going by? Or a train? Is it an automobile? I still love that this lady doesn't put down her Starbucks.
I mean, let's be honest. If you paid $12 for an overly priced sugary espresso drink, would you put it down if being beaten? No, I don't think so. I think you'd save it.
Lie to me, Pinocchio. I don't know what's going on with Pat Riot.
I'm just trying to get my audio and everything worked out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but you intermittently sound like you're in a wind tunnel.
I'm a truck driver.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
I was hoping that the microphone wouldn't pick all that stuff up.
Oh, you're good. I mean, if we can hear you when you're talking, so
Okay.
you're fine.
That's how Raggedy Ann got kicked out of the toy box from sitting on Pinocchio's face and telling him to lie.
So in the United States, you must obtain an air traffic control degree from an FAA certified school.
Okay.
You got to go to a certain type of school and get your degree.
Sounds like it might be worth it.
Oh shit, we're having frost advisories in Colorado. It's getting cold now. When's the last time you had frost in your lawn, Matt?
Last year. Remember the giant freeze we had?
No, because I don't live down there.
Yeah, okay.
I remember you bitching about some snow.
You mean the
We
one
got
that
like
destroyed the windmills?
Yeah.
you guys got like 5 inches of snow and it destroyed your state almost. I know that.
Well, yeah, because we didn't buy the windmills that fucking
Oh shit! Lebanon froze their citizens' savings accounts.
Uh-oh.
This doesn't resonate because you don't think it can happen to you. It can.
That's why they push so hard for a cashless society. I think they did that in Russia, right? Where you had to turn in all your rupees because they were no good. And if you had 1,000 rupees, you only had, 10 new rupees?
Dude, isn't like Walmart supposed to report you to the Department of Homeland Security if you pay in cash?
Huh? No, I don't think so.
No, like under certain circumstances, yes. Not just that, but yes. It's like you pay cash, and it's like you have all 50s, and it's a large amount, and blah blah blah, and I forget whatever all the stipulations were, but yes, because it's considered to be suspicious activity. Like, why does this person have so much cash? Are they a drug dealer? Are they trying to like skate the IRS? Like, why wouldn't they just pay with a card? Like, that's kind of the thinking that they're putting on everybody. Denver Cathedral vandalized. Police investigating, searching for the suspect. Where's the fucking picture that I just saw? I don't know. They painted Satan lives here on their door. Here it is. I don't know, man. I guess I have less grievances with the church than other people do. But I don't see why you would fuck with a church. I just don't. There's no reason. Church helps more people, in my opinion, than it hurts. Maybe it hurts some people, and if you were one of those people who got hurt by the church. I'm muting you, Pat. I'm sorry. Unmute yourself if you want to talk. And then mute yourself in between, because that sound is getting it's getting to people. I don't know. Like, are you okay with the church getting fucked with, Matt?
No. No. I don't think there's any reason for it. I mean, you don't like the church, then don't go to church. I mean, I understand there's people that have been hurt, but like,
I don't know. My thing with church too is like, I feel like the people who go to church every week, not all of them, but a significant number of them, are the same kind of people that are just a piece of shit every day of their life, and then they just go to church to like try to get some sort of forgiveness from God for being a piece of shit so that they can go back to being a piece of shit. And then you look at like some of those evangelical, or not even evangelical, but like the TV preachers, you see those guys?
Yeah, and they're huge pieces of shit, but because they preach, they're like, oh, I'm doing the Lord's work, and thus...
Right, and like the one dude, he's got fucking like a 747, like his own jet that he can fly around wherever he wants, and a mansion, and a second mansion, and a Rolls Royce, and like $10,000 suits and shit like that. And they go on TV and they're like, seat us, please, $1,000, and Jesus is asking you to do this. Just send $1,000 to E Honda right now, and you will get it back tenfold. It's a seed that you're planting. And these people who are like desperate, who have nothing, fall for this shit, send them money, and now they just don't have anything. Like, Sissy Dreams says, I don't think that's true. Some people have real faith. It's not right to stereotype people for almost anything. I am basing that stereotype because I worked at a breakfast restaurant right across the street from a church. Do you know what the worst day of the week was to work? Sunday morning, because all of those fucking assholes would get out of that church after they get droned on for an hour about being a good person or whatever. They come right across the street to get breakfast and just shit on you, dude. Just shit on you all fucking morning. One person after another. Like maybe 1 out of 10 of them was nice. The other 9 were just fucking shit fuck ass pieces of fucking like human trash, dude. Not even joking. And this is a nice town. You know? I can only imagine like a fucking bad part of town or whatever. Like it's probably the same thing. Maybe it's not. Maybe the bad part of town, the people are good in church. That actually would make sense. Pat says, sorry, I'll have to get a better headset and try again. Yeah, sorry, man. It sucks. Maybe pull over and take a break too. That might help too. I don't know. Tara tried to do it from her truck, and it didn't work very well either because trucks are just loud. You're just loud on the inside, and it like I don't know what kind of microphone you would need to block that out, but you would need something. Mark Malone says bad part of town are better. Yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe it's like the rich part of town, the shit people go to church. The shit part of town, the good people go to church. Tupperware says they also don't leave good tips because they toss money in the collection plate. Dude, the worst ones were the ones they'd give you a shitty tip. So instead of giving you like $5 or $10 or whatever it was that you think you deserve, you know, that a normal tip would have been, they give you like $1 and a Jesus pamphlet.
I was just going to say, did they throw the pamphlet in?
That shit made me want to go across the street and paint Satan lives here on the door. Maybe that's who did it. They got to look at the restaurant across the street from that church, and they'll find the culprit. Brian Miller says, my mom was a waitress when she was young. Church crowds stayed for hours, left no tips. Next time they come in, she would drop their food on the floor, put it back on the tray, and serve it to them. Dude, I was telling the story about my buddy Rob, who I used to work with. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this story before, but I'll tell it here. He had this girlfriend, and for whatever reason, they broke up. She broke up with him, I think. And he was like, all right, fine. Like, goodbye, good day to you. By the way, don't come into this work where we worked at. Don't come into this place while I'm working ever again. Just don't come in while I'm here. Like, you're free to come in here when I'm not here, but you know what my schedule is. Don't fucking come into my work while I'm working. So what does she do like 2 days later? She comes in. And she sat in my section, not in his. And like I went over and got her drink order. She ordered a decaf coffee. I went back to the back, grabbed a pot of decaf coffee, brought it back out to her, poured her a cup, served it with a smile, took her order, yada, yada, yada. Well, I didn't know that Rob saw her come in, saw me go to get her drink order, knew that she drank decaf coffee, pissed in the urn of decaf. He pissed in the decaf without me knowing. And I served it to her. And then when I was like taking her order, he took the pot of decaf back to the dish pit, ran it through, cleaned it out, brewed some new decaf so no one else got the tainted coffee or whatever. But yeah.
Wow.
The best part of the story was, though, like a couple of months later, she was like, I miss you. I want to get back with you, blah, blah, blah. And he told her about the tainted decaf, and she took him back anyway.
Wow. Okay.
Man killed, 3 others hurt in late night drive-by shooting in Denver. Dude, there's been a lot of shootings in Denver recently. Like, I follow all the local news channels on here, and it's like a couple a weekend kind of thing, you know, 2 or 3 in every weekend happens. Man orders 100 tacos on first date. Asks woman to pay for them. That's pretty fucking baller. Like, yo, I want 100 tacos and you're going to pay for these. Everybody's talking about the cathedral that got fucking vandalized. Body of a woman was found in Douglas County Saturday. Preliminary identified woman from El Paso County case, according to El Paso County Sheriff. So someone killed some El Paso County bitch and dropped her in Douglas. Which is weird because El Paso is where the crime happens more. Douglas is where the rich people live. That's where the shit churches, the shit church people are. Giant bullet or tiny gun?
I'm going tiny gun. Kind of looks like one of those goat guns.
Tiny gun. Pat Wright says, have you ever seen those come to Jesus pamphlets look like a $5 bill? That shit gets me every time. No, there's one that they used to hand out that looks like a $100 bill. And like you pick it up and look at it and it was Jesus in the fucking center rather than Benjamin Franklin. Oh shit. Look up the Denver Hammer Killer. Sentenced to life in prison, parole over 20 years, in a repo, killing 7-year-old girl and her parents in Aurora. With a hammer? Guilty verdicts in all 6 counts. 6 counts? So they killed the mother, the grandmother, the 7-year-old, in a home invasion, along with Deborah Burnett, 26, and the 87-year-old admitted she's very happy it's all over. Wow. I don't know. That's why you got to have a gun. Because some guy comes into your house with a hammer and starts like to try to kill people. Like, you just brought a fucking hammer to a gunfight, dumb fuck. Blast. Okay, so there's a small business guide on Amazon now that tells you whether it's black-owned, woman-owned, family-owned, or military family-owned. I don't know. I guess I don't care about that. People can buy from whoever they want to. That's not any kind of coercion. Pfizer announced that it would fully vaccinate everyone in the city over the age of 12 so it can carry out a study of the safety and effectiveness of the vaccine. What? Pfizer to vaccinate entire city in Brazil as part of study.
Okay, Brazil. All right.
The southwest Brazilian city of Toledo, you won't find much on the vaccine skepticism. 98% eligible residents have already received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine, according to municipal officials. Most received the vaccine offered by Pfizer this week. The drug maker said the presented an opportunity. Pfizer announced that it would fully vaccinate everyone in the city over the age of 12 so it can carry out a safety and effectiveness study of the vaccine. The company will work with local health officials, the hospital, University of Brazil's national vaccine program to monitor the transmission of coronavirus in a real-life scenario after the whole population has been vaccinated, the Pfizer-BioNTech serum, Pfizer said. The study will follow the participants for up to 1 year to investigate how long vaccine protection lasts against the COVID-19 with new virus variants. Doesn't it seem to me that, I don't know, I guess we're not beyond the study phase, which means this is still an experimental drug, medication, experimental fucking procedure that you go through. Which also means if any coercion goes into making you take it, it is a direct fucking violation of Article 1 of the Nuremberg Code. Looking forward to the prepper cooking shows. I just made grilled cheese and ham sandwiches with a bowl of tomato soup. Simple but good eating. I don't know. I was thinking about doing filming some cooking because I like to cook.
I did some today. I just haven't posted the video yet, but
And I cook almost every day. It wouldn't be that much more to just, occasionally set it up and make sure I have lighting and film it. I don't know, man. I already went through all of my prep stuff at the beginning of COVID because I lost my job and unemployment wasn't paying me yet. And I'd spent a little bit of money and I did a little bit here and there to be ready for something. But I wasn't ready for 16 weeks without being paid. And I don't know. I got through it. I got by with a little help from my friends. And if it wasn't for everybody out there watching who was watching back then, dropping in super chats back then and shit, dude, that would have been bad. I don't thank you guys enough for that, honestly. You guys fucking help me out. And you guys here too, Matt and Angry, and others who are not present. But yeah, how long do you think it would have taken me to get to 1,000 subs and monetizable without being friends with Never Enough Ammo and having him shilling for Honda constantly for all that time? Probably still wouldn't have happened. Maybe. I don't know. Ironically, the most watched video that I have was made before I even talked to you guys. And most of the views that I got on that video was before I even talked to anybody. But all of the revenue combined together from that video wasn't even enough to set up an account and have them pay me. So anyone ever looked into the Brandon lawsuit case?
Lawson.
Brandon Lawson case.
Yeah.
No, what's that?
I don't know. But I know it didn't say Brandon lawsuit, so. Let's see. Brandon Lawson. Disappearance of Brandon Lawson. Disappeared on 2013 in San Angelo, Texas. I don't know. He just disappeared.
Well, when you consider that 40% of the murders in this country go unsolved, how many of those murders happen without them even finding the body, Mr. Matt says, so how's your old man hip doing today? You take your Centrum Silver? Don't forget to take your baby aspirin, too. My hip is feeling fine. I don't know, dude. I was like laying in bed the other day and I was stretching and my hip just like popped when I was laying down in bed and I was like, whatever. And I fell asleep and then I woke up the next day and I like started walking around or whatever and it hurt really bad. Like hurt worse and worse and worse and worse. And it was actually Ray that helped me out. Because she was saying if you lay on your stomach and have one of your kids pull on your leg, it might fix it. And I don't know if it fixed it, but it made it not hurt. So. Do you think she did it?
I don't know. Maybe.
I know nothing about the case, but I'm
I
looking
don't
at her
know.
like, you look guilty.
I think that's just a YouTuber who's commenting on it. I don't think
Oh.
that's anybody.
Do you think she did it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this guy. It probably wouldn't hurt for him to get on Insure at his age. He's looking old as fuck lately, says Daniel. Ouch. Ouch. I had to turn on my camera for that one. Really? Old as fuck? Really? I know I got some gray hair. Look at the chin. It's like white on the chin. Can't help that shit. It just happens. Has Honda gotten fat? Obviously. It was that bitch Carol Baskin. Try not to grow yourself to death.
I had forgotten up until this point that I told Tara I would harass you. I forgot.
Well, there's a certain point in life where you don't really want to grow anymore, isn't there? Like when you're a kid and you get taller, you're like, yay, and you get bigger and you weigh more, you're like, yes. And then, like 16, 17, you stop getting taller, but you start filling out, And then like 23, 24, that's about as, you don't want to weigh more than that. Yeah, people are being fucking mean in the chat. I don't like it. Blood on Steel says, damn, I had gray hairs when I graduated high school. I might have had a few, I'm not sure, but it wasn't like this. Like this whole part of my face right here is just fucking 90% gray. The beta for the new Battlefield kind of fucking sucked this weekend, says Joey Savoy. Did you guys play that at all, Angry?
Yeah, I downloaded it. I agree. It's because they limited it to one map, so you can only play one map, and it's glitchy. Like, there's definitely a lot of glitches with it. So it's a beta, so like, there's a reason why. But yeah, just not everything was in. Once everything that they say is in it, it'll probably be better. But yeah, as of right now, it was just kind of like the control layout scheme and stuff like that. There's a lot of work that has to be done. But
I don't like playing games in beta like that because it's usually more of a pain in the ass than it's worth,
I downloaded it because one, it was free, and I was like, hell, for this weekend, it gives me an idea of what to look for and like visually, the game looks great, right? It's Battlefield, so like destructive environments. I like the ability to upgrade my weapons on the fly. So there are some good things to it, but it's just some stuff that needs tweaking. Plus, not everything that they claim is going to be in the game is in the beta, so you're missing out on that aspect too.
I wonder how many people watched on Twitter. I added Twitter to my destinations or whatever. Oh, still 0 live viewers. Never mind. Joey Savoy says, we need to either get the new COD or Battlefield if it turns out good and have like a community play night. That would be badass. Actually, that sounds fun if it's a good game, you know. I do miss playing which one was the World War I game that we played?
Battlefield.
That was Battlefield. Yeah, that was Battlefield 1.
Yeah, Battlefield 1. That was fun. I liked that game. And we'd like get up on top of that building and like cover all the fucking hatches where people could crawl up, and
Yeah.
it was fun. I had you know, I don't know why we stopped playing that game. I guess it was because
of Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare came out,
Mm-hmm.
and then cat, sorry about your balls, bro, and I fucking quit. So
That's still fucking hilarious.
Well, Back for Blood's this week, right? I think it drops Tuesday or Wednesday or something.
look at this, all cleaned up. I took it all the way apart, cleaned everything up, put it all back together. I was up late last night doing it. I still got to get the magazine spring and follower because it's not even in there. But I don't know. Should I blue the fucking magazine too? Because look at this thing; it's like silver. Or just leave it like that.
Well, it depends on what you're going to do to it. Are you going to like pimp out this gun?
I just want to make it nice.
Are you going to like strip it down and restain it and do all that stuff, or what are you going to do?
No, I was thinking the stock doesn't look too bad, honestly. Like I could do that, but I'd just be ruining the original finish on the stock. And if it was like already ruined and needed it, then I would do that. But like for instance, the SKS was all fucked up, so I redid that one. The Carcano wasn't, so I didn't. This one's not, so I'm thinking I'm not going to.
Then I'd leave it alone. I'd just get it nice and cleaned up and be done with it. Like if you had rust or something, that'd be one thing, but
there's a little bit of rust. Like I don't know. It's all like black at the top from nasty shit. I gotta clean it off again. I don't know. I like it. I like my 303. I don't know what other milsurp to get next. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get another gun for a while, to be honest. Do you guys have a next gun that you're planning on buying?
Not going to pick up that Scorpion?
Dude, when I priced out everything that I wanted to get for it, no, I'm not. It's not worth it. I mean, I could buy that Scorpion how I want it, or a car for my son.
Oh, yeah. Next guns for me, like, as I said, like, I'm more than likely, it'll be building up my not a Glock. Finally
You had
getting
that for a while, though.
Yeah, well, because I was sitting on it for a while, just debating on what I wanted to do with it. And now that I don't think they're going anywhere, I'm like, I might as well build the fucking thing. So after this wedding in 2 weeks, and then the other trip in 3 weeks, I think it is, maybe 4 weeks, I forget, whatever the first week in November is, I'm gonna start looking at it and seeing, like, I already priced out a lot of shit for it, but I want to see if those prices are still there. Like, start working on getting that built out maybe by end of the year.
Luke B says, "Don't cold blue ever. Don't cold blue ever. Hot slow blue. Don't you have to have like equipment for that?"
well, you just have to have a pan big enough to put whatever you're bluing in it and heat it up. And then you need the chemicals.
Do you already have a how-to blue video? No, I don't. But it's pretty easy. I mean, even when I did the like cold bluing on the barrel for that 12 gauge side by side. It turned out really good. It honestly did, and it wasn't like I was disappointed that I didn't go through a different process to get it done. You know. Sissy Dream says, "Is ammo really difficult to get for the Enfield? A friend of mine has one 25 years ago. They're really nice rifles. You know, you can find it online. The local gun store, big box stores generally won't have it, but you'll be able to find it on the ammo stores online, which means you'll pay more, but it's not available also. I don't know. I got to do a Milsurp video here pretty soon where I pull out all the old guns and talk about them. I don't know. I think that'll be a cool video. I like the old guns. I almost like the old ones better than the new ones because they have like a history to them. And like this one, for instance, made in 1918. God knows how many continents and countries and hands this has been through over the years. Like how many lives it's defended, maybe taken. Like who knows? Who knows? Maybe 0. But it's cool. Then I've got like an AR-15 that's been in my safe. Oh, Mark Malone just sold 300 rounds of 303 for $250. Yeah, I mean, it's similar prices to 308 then, right? Like, that's fine. It was pre-World War II British in the Bandoliers. I think some of those Enfields are painted, not blued. The barrel is. When you take this off, they're actually blued and painted. So they've got like extra protection on the barrel because they expect you to not take that handguard off very often. But yeah, like I took it all apart, cleaned it all up. It cleaned up real fucking nice, dude. Like the bore on this thing is just about perfect. The barrel on the outside has no corrosion at all. Like all the fucking crap wiped off of it. It's got some parts where it doesn't have the finish anymore or whatever. But again, I could remedy that or not. I could just leave it as it is. It's fine. I mean, it's been around for 103 years, 104 years almost now. I don't know. I like it. Well, we've been going almost 2 hours, guys, and I seem to suck at talking tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. But I hope you all enjoyed the show. We'll be back tomorrow night for the free-for-all chat on Never Enough Ammo's channel, as always.
Yes.
You got anything I should watch before tomorrow? I got to watch the Dave Chappelle special, dude.
Yeah, watch that.
Yeah.
If you have time, you should definitely go see James Bond. I'm just saying. It was really fucking good.
Agreed.
But given that I don't think you like going to the movies.
I just don't like spending money on anything except for like stuff that I don't like going places and spending money. I like buying things.
I'll say that. Trying to think. Have you been watching What If or no?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, you could catch up on that. It's all out.
Yeah.
Watch all 8 episodes.
What if?
Disney Plus.
I have your Disney Plus login information.
No, you cannot.
Why not? I'm a good guy.
I don't care.
Did you watch Squid Game?
I did. I did watch Squid Game. I watched it yesterday.
What did you think?
It was good. I was pissed off at the dude at the end. Like, dude, you fucking have everything. And at the end, he was going to throw it all away with his friend. And then he didn't do it. And then, I don't know. The ending kind of pissed me off. You go through all that shit.
Well, they had to set up next season, right?
Is there going to be a next season?
Yeah,
I think so. I think that's what they're
Oh, shit.
implying.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, the way that they left it, like he joined again, right? Like he
Yeah.
stole the identity of the guy who got the thing and like took his place, and now he's part of the Squid Game again.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, the ending was okay. The show was good. That fucking man, some of the games on that thing were a trip. The fucking one with the tempered glass, that was a good one. They had to fucking figure out a way to cross the path. I didn't care about the tug of war one. The first one was pretty cool with the red light, green light.
Right.
I mean, obviously the Squid Game one at the end was fine, I guess. But it was cool.
Yeah, there was the one where they had to like cut out the fucking shape in
Oh yeah,
the
from
sugar
the
cooking
honeycomb
thing,
or splitter. Yeah.
whatever the fuck it was. I forget all the games. What was the other one? There was one more, wasn't
And
there?
there was one where they play with the marbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's marbles,
Marbles,
Glass.
glass,
red light,
Honey-
green light. Oh, the cookie.
cookie.
There was
Squid
7
Game,
games, wasn't there?
6.
Tug of war.
Oh,
Tug of
6.
And
War
tug of
and then
war.
the
Yeah,
Squid
tug of war
Game.
was the
Yeah.
6th one. Yeah.
So tug of war, cookie, red light, green light, glass thing, marbles. What was the other one?
Oh, I forgot. Okay. Let's try this again. Red light, green light,
Yeah.
tug of war,
Yeah.
marbles,
Yeah.
glass,
Yeah.
Squid Game.
Wait, which
then
one?
the-
What
and then
one
the
was
cookie.
Squid Game? I forget what that was.
Squid Game's the very last one.
Very last one. Where they got there's that thing written on the ground, the white lines.
Yeah, there's the line that the
Hold on,
one
now I'm
person has
forgetting.
to try to get past, the other person has to basically
Red light,
make it
green
so
light.
they don't get past.
No,
There's
red light, green light. There's red light, green light,
Cookie.
cookie, tug of war, marbles, glass, Squid Game in that order, I
Yeah.
believe.
We just spoiled the fuck out of the show for everybody watching.
Nobody knows what we say when we say marbles, glass, tug of war. They would probably figure that one out.
Yeah, but we said the guy fucking lives and
we don't know which guy. There's multiple people in there.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna go ahead and shut it down. We'll see you tomorrow night. Peace out, Girl Scout. Have a good night. Don't fight.
Deuces shall not pee in fridge.
All that shit. Carol Baskin is a bitch. Hank
Fuck Hank
Strange
Strange.
is a piece of shit.
And
Yeah,
let's
that's
go
all.
Brandon.